Hello and welcome to the On Your Head Son podcast. It's special guest time. This time joining us we have Newcastle United superfan Jonny Dixon.
Welcome, Johnny. Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's an honour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard and seen good things so far.
Yeah. How excited are you to be on this podcast?
Oh, through the roof. You know,
Through the roof.
It's almost too exciting for Monday. You know, this should be Friday night.
I know.
Thingy, but you know, I'll have to calm down for the rest of the week. But,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you want to say who's on the back of your shirt
For
for the?
the man, the myth, the maverick, Fabrizio Colaccini.
Yeah. Very good.
I'd let him shag my wife. I want curly hair too. Yeah, iconic. It's a shame, really. His career ended on a sour note, but for 6 years he was an absolute rock at the back. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did his career end?
where he got relegated.
Oh, fine.
And he,
is that day he retired?
he fathered a child in Argentina, and he tried to leave a season in advance and saying, "I want to go back to my kid," and then we didn't let him.
Feels like Ashley. Like Ashley there.
Mike Ashley has no time for family. So.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, but apart from that, he was an absolute
Rock
very
at the back.
classy ball player and absolute rock at the back. So
Love that.
Brilliant. Well, we'll get on to Newcastle United in more detail later on, including our Newcastle United five-a-side teams, which Colaccini may or not be part of. We'll find out. We will find out.
Teaser.
Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
How
Thank
are
you very
you?
much. Back again.
What football shirt are you wearing today,
Number
Matt?
9, Matthew. Number 9.
it would have been more iconic.
The half. Yeah, exactly. I've never heard of a better number 9.
Yeah.
So, where did you get that shirt from?
I
Matt?
got it from Antoine from my French exchange when I was 13, and yeah, it still fits.
So you're saying that you haven't grown since you were 13 years old?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, unfortunately so.
It's
Matt,
an
that's
achievement in some ways,
Yeah.
not so much in others.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah.
Matt was a giant when he was 13, and now he's an average, it's a small
He
size
was,
man.
he was the tallest out of
Video crew.
brothers.
Well, now,
No, back when you were kids.
or me, because I'm by far the
yeah,
oldest.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, but some might have had a growth spurt.
Whereas now I'm middle of the road. But yeah, I'm wearing a Greece shirt, and I don't have any on the back. If I could pick anyone,
Samaras.
probably Samaras.
Geordie
Yeah.
7, number 7. I think Andy's got that shirt.
Yeah.
hasn't he? He
Or Delas,
does.
the centre back from the Euro 2004 winning team.
Yeah.
Or Karisteas,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
scored the
that's-
winner.
yeah, he did,
That's the ball
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
He looked like he was like 50 when he
Yeah.
looked
You know Southampton Greek players?
No Saints Greek players that I can think of. Newcastle, any?
Nikos Dabazas, also
Oh.
a very good
Oh,
centre
Dabazas,
back.
yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, without further ado, let's get on to the games over the weekend. There was one game in particular that stood out.
Big stories.
Big stories, lots to talk about. The football is great too. Tottenham versus Liverpool. 2 red cards, 1 goal that should have stood, which...
I think that's an understatement there.
Go on then, expand.
VAR was. I think it's the worst decision I've ever seen by VAR there. It was absolutely appalling. Clearly onside.
Mm-hmm.
Lines weren't even drawn. Don't understand how it happened. Well, kind of now seen how it happened. Basically, VAR made a mistake because they thought they actually gave it as a goal originally. Or no, yeah, gave it as a goal originally, then it's just a check complete. And then decided basically it was too late once they kicked off again. But it was just, you felt so sorry for Liverpool in that game. I mean, how's
I find it hard to feel sorry for
No,
them.
exactly. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool are probably my least favourite team, but I mean in the Prem. But I mean, even so,
It was appalling. Yeah.
they're absolutely appalling. And the red cards, I genuinely think they were red cards. I think there's been a lot of debate about the Curtis Jones ones. You can't go above the ball. Like yes, it's all about excessive force.
I don't think it is a red card. I just think the way that he doesn't really go, it just, his foot slides over the ball.
because he was pushed
Yeah.
by Sarr into the Suma. But I mean, even so, it's still a red card. You're literally taught as a kid, don't go over the ball with studs up.
Yeah.
That's all you're ever taught, and it's like, yes, you can argue about excessive.
It's just unfortunate, I
Yeah,
think.
I agree.
And maybe it is, but the Jota one, I mean, he's an idiot for making the second foul.
Yeah.
The second foul. So,
Yeah.
Probably the most nailed on yellow card I've ever seen.
Yes,
Yeah,
the second one.
Second one, yeah.
Yeah.
First one though was just after he made a challenge that should have been a yellow card at the edge of a box. So I think that one was more of a kind of like a totting up kind of process one,
Yeah.
as opposed just a sole. Because that one was a bit harsh, to be honest. He kind of like, I can't remember who was running playing. It might have been Adogi who was running past,
Yeah.
and they kind of just clipped the back of his heel or something. But yeah, I know, really tough on Liverpool. I mean, they defended like absolutely mountains. It was amazing.
John Matip,
John Matip.
Most of all, he was outstanding.
I know, like probably
then-
was going to get the man of the match or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, you just felt so sorry if you just wanted the ground to like swallow him up. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah.
I've been hearing, before we just go on to the actual game itself, I'm hearing a lot of chatter of people actually saying we should no longer have VAR. Where do you guys think on that? Do you think we should have VAR? We shouldn't.
I would be happy to go back to a world without VAR, but that's not related to the Liverpool Spurs game, but more because I miss celebrating a goal and going crazy and knowing that goal's going to stand, and you're not going to have to stand in the crowd and wait for, because I've been to games last season in particular where I've jumped up, celebrated, and then the whole crowd doesn't celebrate to like 80%.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing about scoring a goal, about football, is jumping up, going ballistic,
Absolutely mental,
and
yeah.
going mental. And I had a couple of games last season with my dad where we were like, that might be offside, and we were just stood there. And I know that's not probably the most logical reason, but for me it is ruined that from football. So I appreciate that would result in probably more incorrect decisions, but
Yeah.
at the moment it's not as if, you know,
We're getting the right
we're getting the right
decisions.
decisions
No,
anyway.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
you know, if it was to stay, obviously they need to establish a better way of communicating with the ref, in particular on the pitch, because that side of it is just, you know, what was the reason in the Liverpool Spurs game? He said like check complete, and then
Yeah.
instead of just talking in normal language, he thought he
Yeah.
meant
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the goal was already
Yeah, just say
ruled out.
offside,
Yeah, just
offside,
say
onside,
offside.
offside,
Yeah.
onside.
So
Yeah.
that side could be improved, but for me, I would
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think overall it's made the game better. I
Right.
do. I agree what you're saying about the
Celebration. The celebration, yeah.
It is a thing. But overall, I think it does make the game better. I remember some ridiculous things that happened in the past. I mean, the Maradona goal is the perfect example. It's a long time ago with a handball. But loads of small little errors now don't happen.
But we're seeing small little errors every week getting flagged as appalling, and like
Yeah.
I feel like we have to compare it to how it's operating now, and not some world where we think it will operate perfectly.
Yeah.
I think yes, it can improve, and it probably will improve. But right now, it's a choice between what it's like now and previously. I would go previously, but
I think with VAR as well, is goal line technology obviously should stay in, and that is a kind of a subsection of kind of VAR. Offsides are also that black and white. I don't understand how this one particular is incorrect. How you can get that wrong, I don't get that. Kind of your Curtis Jones one as an example, because it happened this week. I can kind of understand how that's kind of a bit more debatable.
Yeah.
But an offside is black and white. That should be as easy as pie. You draw the lines, it's offside, it's onside. And I agree again with your point about celebrating over celebrating, but it's offside is black
It should
and
be
white.
quick.
Offside is black
Should
and
be
white.
quick, yeah.
It's
Should
like
be
the World
almost
Cup. The
instant.
World Cup uses that automated system
Yeah.
where, and also, but the Premier League refused to use it.
I would say as well, if it's a grey area, I'd be happy as a fan to say
Go with onside. Go with
yeah,
the
go
on-field
with onside,
or
and
on-field
accept that,
decision.
like, you know,
Yeah,
you can't. There's only a limit to how far you can go in with a microscope or whatever. You can't, you know, spend 10 minutes. So I'd accept if it's a grey area, I'd accept that. But
And also another big thing with it is the amount of fans are just kept in the dark. Like good old rugby, good old ruggers. While the ruggers World Cup's on, it's communicated loud. Like you can hear what the officiators or the officials are saying, like on the pitch and also back in
The Women's World Cup, they did that for
Exactly.
the football as well.
And it
They
makes-
announced
it
to
makes
the fans
complete
what was
sense.
going on.
very
Makes
dramatic as
complete
well.
sense.
Yeah.
As opposed to kind of just whatever moment where it's just everyone's kept in the dark. But yeah, strange.
Perfect. Well, let's move away from that because I thought I would
Yeah.
talk about that and debate that for
Yeah.
hours. Game itself, Tottenham unbeaten, beat Liverpool, looking fantastic.
1 point off top.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, really good. I think Tottenham looks. Well, Tottenham just don't stop, which was really good.
Yeah.
What Villa didn't have was any width. That's all the whole game. So it was quite easy almost for Liverpool to kind of defend and kind of back two banks of four, bank of four, and 4-1 or whatever it was they played. But because everything was just through the middle, like that's right back and left back were just coming in the middle all the time, like Adogi and Porro, I think it was. And the one time Porro got down the right wing, played a low cross. It's a goal in the 96th minute, and it was the first time really you saw them panic. And yeah, they shot, I think, 20 shots around that. But yeah, I mean,
I think Liverpool played really well. So they had 9 men for like a lot of the game. 10 men for most of the game. 20-30 minutes at the end, they had 9 men. They defended amazingly. They did really well. And I know that everyone knows this already, but Alisson is an outstanding goalkeeper. Some of the saves that he made, the one from Son and Maddison as well, curling into the far corner, He's an outstanding goalkeeper. I think he's the best in the Premier League.
Yeah,
So I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's hard to disagree.
Yeah, I would say I don't know why Son was taken off like 70, 75 minutes.
That was
Like, it
weird.
seems- I
That
don't
was
know.
weird, yeah.
I'm sure he
Looking for a
ran himself
goal.
into the ground, but you know
Yeah.
that's when I mean it was all fine, but slightly.
I think that Tottenham could struggle if Maddison and or Son get injured.
Agreed.
That's where they could struggle because I don't know if they've got the cutting edge without them.
Yeah, definitely. I think
But
that's,
with them, they're a really, really exciting team.
They're in a really good. It reminds me a bit
Yeah.
of us last year because they've got no European football. I think they're out of the League Cup already.
They are.
They've
Yeah.
got a free run. They can rotate as much as obviously not the key players, but they've got a really good. Almost similar to us in that we also lacked squad depth a lot last year,
Yeah.
and they need to be lucky with injuries, but they could really like keep this run going and get like a lot of points on the board before Christmas.
Yeah, the only place that you rotated last year was forward. It was just
Correct. Isaac
really.
Wilson. We got lucky, and this year it's
That's
coming.
it, yeah.
We've got more depth this year, but it's
More
coming to
injuries.
bite us.
More injuries.
Yeah. We did get lucky last year. I think a couple of
Yeah.
key injuries to Bruno or Julian, and that would
Yeah.
have screwed us a bit more. But
Agreed.
yeah, Spurs look really good.
They do. Speaking of other teams that look very, very good, seamless.
Seamlessly.
Villa. Aston Villa 6-1 against Brighton. I think people expected a lot of goals. I don't think people expected Sixton to be for Villa against Brighton. But here we are. You love Aston Villa.
Love Aston Villa. Premier League team.
Talk to me about them. Talk to me about Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins is amazing. I mean, there was 2 deflected goals in there, so
Yeah.
I mean, he did definitely got a bit of luck in these. But I mean, even so, he could have scored another one really, or another 2 really. He had so many chances, and it was just perfect counter-attack football.
Yeah.
Just for the way they were doing it, just sucking kind of Brighton in, and then just Musa Diaby was just kind of like getting a 1-2 with Watkins, and it was just them 2 really against the 2 centre backs, and they were just quicker. That's all it really wanted. Like,
Yeah.
That's all it really boiled down to. Is just everything was just done at such a pace when we had the ball. And I think the best thing I saw about this was similar to Newcastle. Really is how those 3 teams I view as very similar kind of quality teams.
Yeah.
And I mean, Villa lost to Newcastle 5-1, and then Brighton beat Newcastle 3-0, and then now Villa have beaten Brighton 6-1. And it's just like they're literally just almost the same kind of team. And I think they're going to be the most entertaining teams in the Prem, as in they'll win big and lose big.
Yeah.
And Villa have proved that, and so have Brighton. I think it's exciting to watch.
And what's amazing for me is that Villa seem to have done really, really good business. They have so much strength in depth.
Yeah.
Like bringing injured Jacob Ramsey back. He's a brilliant player. He scored a fantastic goal the other day.
Yeah.
They seem to have strength in depth all over the place. I think we could see Villa in the top 4 at the end of the season. I really do think that could happen.
I think I put them there.
It could happen, yeah. It's I think top 6 minimum aim for them probably now.
Yeah.
And yeah, see how they do. But they've spent really well. They've spent a lot, but they've spent
They
really
have,
well.
yeah. I think it's gone actually under the radar how much we actually spent.
Yeah.
But no, it's really good. But you've still got the mainstays like McGinn's still playing, Cash is still playing.
Yeah.
Douglas Luiz still looks really good, and then it's brilliant. And Jalen Ramsey and Duran came on.
And look at with Tyrone Mings and
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's good.
Brighton, just an off day, do you think?
Probably, I think they've. I feel like they were beaten quite comprehensively in another game as well early in the season. I can't remember which one it is, but I think they'll bounce back pretty quickly.
Yeah, not worried about them at all. I think it's just one of those days. They still created quite a few chances.
Yeah.
And could have actually gone in at a kind of like 3-2. I think it would have been down, which would have made for an unbelievable game. But yeah, no.
I love the fact that Danny Welbeck plays more games than Evan Ferguson
No, I know.
and scores more goals. It's just I love players who have like James Milner is probably similar but maybe less glamorous. But yeah, Danny Welbeck scoring against Man U. I love like late career renaissances like that. So,
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Very good. The next game to talk on was actually probably the biggest story in terms of scores. Was our favourite Wolves beating Man City 2-1.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Don't know. I mean, no. Rodri being injured really is obviously the obvious one. Really. I mean, they played. What the hell is Calvin Phillips doing? Like literally, why
He didn't
is
play.
There? But I mean, he came on about 60 minutes
Yeah.
or something. But I mean, why have him? What is the point in having? If Rodri's injured and you play Kovacic, who's just coming back from a injury.
Yeah.
They skirt the line a bit with like squad depth. Like they're very happy to sell like Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, and who was it this season? Cole Palmer, like they're
and Gundogan.
and Gundogan.
Yeah.
It can come back to bite them.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I agree. It's weird. I mean, Neto looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which was
And actually, Cunha looked really good as well, by the way.
Yeah,
I know you hate Cunha, and you put him down as your biggest transfer flop of the summer,
Yeah,
but
45
he did look really, really good.
Yeah, he did. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And his little assist for Neto at the end. No,
For
Hwang. The
Yeah.
Korean guy, sorry. That Korean
Yeah,
guy.
oh no.
That Korean guy.
just want to clarify in case people are, that's not us saying that, that's
No,
Pep
that's
Guardiola
Pep Guardiola,
saying the
yeah.
Korean guy.
Yeah.
And then the Korean guy comes back and
scores
against them,
Brilliant, yeah.
the winning goal.
But I mean, City didn't create anything.
No, I know.
No, I can
They
remember.
defended really well. Most importantly, and you've written down here, I can see Ballon Dawson.
Oh yeah, so I was on Match of the
It
Day
was Match
where
of
Richard
Shameless
said,
steal.
yeah, exactly, yeah, shameless steal. But yeah, no, Ballon Dawson, he played unbelievable. He was because he just literally just man marked
Yeah.
Haaland the whole game. I mean, they've done it on Match of the Day, but I just thought it was quite funny. Ballon Dawson, that's what the parent used to call him in when he played with him. Can't remember where it
Team
was.
GB, wasn't it?
Yeah, Team GB.
Yeah.
He's very underrated. You know, he's good at West Ham. He's good at West Brom. Like
Scores a
he's
lot.
probably transferred for like
Yeah.
3 million on
Yeah.
a free every time, but he really never lets anyone down. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Is that the perfect fourth choice defender
Yeah.
in anyone's
Mm.
squad? Although now first choice, but
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see a team like sucking up all the pressure from Man City and breaking at pace. And City do look vulnerable in the transition. Like when teams get at them and run,
Yeah.
like Ake looks so slow next to like
That's it.
Neto in some of the
Yeah.
highlights with the goals.
Yeah.
And, like, it's
But
crazy.
He is, but that is where the hole is. It's
Yeah.
that kind of left back. It's like almost Arsenal with Zinchenko there. It's like if you can break on them with pace there,
Mhm.
it's absolutely fine. Like there's space there to be because if you go down the right, obviously you got Walker who's
Yeah.
absolutely
who
lightning.
is still
Yeah, still
absolutely
lightning.
close.
He's still
30,
lightning.
34, yeah,
Yeah.
33.
I mean, I think he did a goal line clearance of this Walker, didn't he?
Who?
Walker didn't he in this game or something similar? He did like a couple of last ditch challenges.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, Wolves could have scored more. Really,
They could have.
I've only had 3 shots and 1 on target, so maybe not. But
Like, they were in the, like,
threatening.
in the transition. They
Yeah.
were very threatening, and
Yeah.
another good pass here and there, and
Yeah.
they could have made some really, really good chances.
Yeah.
But yeah, like incredible. I don't think anyone saw that coming at all. Still think Wolves are going down?
No.
Oh,
Change it. No, I think there's 3 worse teams than Wolves.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it has to be the promote teams. I don't know. Like I think Luton did very well at the weekend, but
Luton won though.
they did. But
yeah,
you
big
know,
win.
if you had to pick a team to play right now, I know
Everton at home.
Yeah,
Everton
yeah.
at Goodison. Yeah.
Should we go on to that? Let's we talk about that now. I think that's a nice little segue
Yeah.
into Luton winning their first ever game in the Premier League. Congratulations!
That is.
Yeah.
Mighty. 2 set plays.
2 set plays, 2 very well worked set plays. Although the defending
Yeah.
from Everton
Atrocious.
is appalling, and that's what you expect Everton to be really good in defending set pieces and attacking set pieces. That's what Sean Dyche is known for. But defensively, they were awful. There were 3 corners in a row, I think, just before Luton scored, and the same thing happened 3 times.
Short corner.
Yeah.
Short corner, because I think what happens, they just box in their whole like,
Yeah.
kind of 6-yard box.
Yeah.
So that no one can crowd the keeper. Well, so it is almost crowding the keeper, but
Yeah.
the opposition can't. And they just went short, and then would just create chances off it like that. I can't. Who's their captain? I can't remember his name.
Tom Lockyer.
Tom Lockyer.
Yeah.
The Wales captain as well, isn't he? Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he looked like a threat every time.
Yeah.
And Morris as well.
Carlton Morris. Well,
Carlton Morris.
I really rate Carlton Morris.
I
I
don't
think he's a really good high-end championship striker, and will actually. The more I think about it, he probably will
He's
get
going to
moved.
Palace. He's going to Palace.
You said this last week, going to Palace.
He's probably will get moved, yeah.
Or Everton if they stay up.
Yeah.
You can see them go to Everton.
Yeah.
Because Beto missed another load of headers again, which is what he's in there for. He does not look good.
Yeah, his debut was really impressive, and then he's obviously they're so reliant on Calvert-Lewin, and it's really awful. Like how many games he's missed because he's an absolute quality player.
He is.
When he's not playing, they just look like no threat whatsoever.
So I saw a stat saying he was injured so much last season. 2 goals last
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Calvert-Lewin scored.
Scored as many in this season as he did last season, didn't he?
Yeah.
So far, which is ridiculous.
But like, if you look at the expected goals from the game, Everton should have won that.
Right.
Still,
It's 23 shots.
they still should have won.
Yeah, they should have.
But You have to have that cutting edge. You have to be able to finish, and yeah, Beto was the one that was guilty of the most misses, but you also got to defend the set pieces better.
Agree.
But amazing for Luton, great job. I don't know how many more wins they're going to get.
But brilliant when you do. I mean, Goodison Park is toxic. Like,
Yeah.
Like the minute they don't go 1-0 up, or even if they do go 1-0 up and they concede, it's toxic. It's probably the worst kind of.
I mean, Southampton won their last season, so
did we?
Yeah, we won the Goodison Park last season, so that's how bad Everton are at home.
And there's a financial threat hanging over them as well, because if their new owners don't get that deal through, the owners stop putting money in.
Yeah. Got the new stadium.
They're taking out a loan. They've got 3 separate loans with 3 different private equity firms. They've got the new stadium to fund. And the Premier League still has to approve the takeover by 777, who apparently have a bit of a dodgy reputation abroad. So.
They've done it in other sports, like baseball as well, where they ruined a team as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Although I wouldn't bat the fit and proper person's test to really do anything, but
definitely not. No.
Yeah, not good times for Everton at all. One thing that I just want to say, in our predictions game, I was the first one brave enough to pick Luton.
No. Second one, I
you picked them and they lost. I picked Luton and they won.
Well done, James. Well done.
Nice
one, James.
Thank you. Pat on the back. Well done, me. And then the other main feature game I want to talk about is the one that I sat and watched yesterday. It was Super Sunday yesterday, which never has been less super in the entire history of Super Sundays.
Shitty Sunday.
It was it's so clearly just a marketing thing. Like when your Super Sunday is just Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. I was really disappointed. I went to a wedding on Saturday. I was really looking forward to just an afternoon of just watching football back to back. But no.
Well, I had one game. There was a WSL on after, wasn't there?
There was?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that actually, no.
I didn't tune in.
But I actually really enjoyed Forest versus Brentford.
Forest are they're quite a fun team to watch. Brennan Johnson isn't there anymore, but Awoni up front is an absolute beast. And they're pacey, and Hudson Odoi looks like I'm going to be spectacularly wrong about him because I thought his career was over, but he looks good. Yeah, they're exciting to watch going forward. And Brentford were more last season, but they're still they're good to watch as well.
They are. The big thing I want to talk about from this game was substitutions.
Okay.
Right? So around the 60th minute, both teams made that couple of substitutions and it changed the game completely. I have no idea, to begin with, why Morgan Gibbs-White was left out of the squad. When I think of Nottingham Forest and the way that they are at the moment, Morgan Gibbs-White is Mr. Nottingham Forest. You see the passion that he plays with. Yeah. That's who I think of. I see him as that talisman. He came on the pitch. It was after they went down to 10 men, Forest, and he controlled the tempo completely. He made before the goal, the Nottingham Forest goal, he was the one that took control in the middle of the pitch, played the ball out to the left-hand side, to create the goal. He was making last-ditch tackles, one where genuinely he chased the length of the pitch to catch up with Barnett Brothers. It actually gave me shivers in my spine. How awesome! He played for half an hour and he had a 10 out of 10 performance. He was outstanding.
He's a really good player.
I think he's a really, really good player. The biggest thing, and this is what's weird about Forest, if he's not safe, his place isn't safe, how are they going to keep all these players happy? Surely no one's safe at all. Surely you think that if Hudson-Odoi and Alanga don't score 2 or 3 goals each by January, then there's going to buy 2 more wingers just to replace them because they're not sure on them. So how is that going to build a good team ethos if...
They managed it last season. I mean,
they did. They did.
I completely agree with you. It is. It's like a fine line to tread, but I think everyone thought last summer they were going to be an absolute disaster, and they started slowly, but they turned around pretty well. I think Steve Cooper is a very underrated manager.
I think he's a very good manager.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
I really do.
The fact that he kept him up last year, they were absolutely appalling at the start of the year, and they beat Saints, I think 2-0. I think Gibbs-White actually scored 2 in that game, or maybe scored 1. But anyway, they obviously put it together. And I completely agree about what you said about Gibbs-White. But because apart from him, they've just got weird little flair players, and no one's really kind of a gritty, kind of Forest, kind of gritty kind of thing or whatever. But it's different.
I think
I didn't watch a game. It's a shitty game.
it wasn't. It was really
It's the
interesting.
definition of like a contractual obligation by Sky.
No, I'm not gonna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On the subject of like Mr. Forest, then you start to think like, and I thought about it, and I was like, so who's Mr. Brentford? And you look around that team, and you're like, there isn't like the stand-up bit. Mr. Brentford is Ivan Toney.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
That is the Brentford. And what Brentford were lacking was just a cutting edge and a bit of flair. When Brentford play well, they play well as a team, and there's no like individual like brilliance. And I think that's part of their like transfer model. They obviously go off data like heavily, and they build a very functional team. But by doing that and not overspending on players, they don't ever buy someone that's got that ability to change a game from nothing. Ivan Toney does have that.
Ericsson was one.
Ericsson was that, I think they were very lucky to get him.
And a
Danish connection. But and that's what they lack when the team's on song and they're playing well. They're superb. But when like yesterday they were playing against the 10-man Nottingham Forest, they just needed someone with.
Did they actually create any kind of like decent chances?
A few, like,
but
not enough.
Bankers.
And sort of speaking of what I was saying about these substitutions, similar time, Brentford brought off who I consider to be a really, really underrated player, Matthias Jensen.
Yeah, really good.
He is for fantasy football players. Have a look at like Matthias Jensen in the last back end of last season and the beginning of this season. He pops up with a goal or an assist almost every game. I think he's completely underrated and people just look over him. But I think he's brilliant. But him coming off, they lost a bit of creativity. Nottingham Forest could have actually won in the end, but that was 10 men.
Love that.
But that was my points on Brentford Forest.
Fair enough.
Anyone want to add to that?
I'm out.
I mean, I didn't say either for the same reasons, but I'm glad you
Ryder Cup was good on Sunday.
There was the Ryder Cup game on the left-hand side.
Ryder Cup, and then the NFL was on as well. So I mean, you got two other better options there.
Okay, all right. Well, I enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed it, Forest and Brentford fans. Right, before we get on to Newcastle, we're just going to skim through the last three. You can shout out anything to say. So, first of all, we've got Man United versus Palace. I mean, Man United lost again.
Yeah.
Anything to add on that?
I find it funny that, I don't know, I love it when teams play the same team like 4 days in a row, and they were obviously a bit shocked. They were very comfortable in Palace's second team, and they just had they couldn't deal. I absolutely love Crystal Palace as a team. I think they're my, if you like Brentford, they're my equivalent, because I think they're so, and I think Zaha was a potential big loss, but they're such a pacey, exciting team to watch. And I also love Jordan Ayew. I think is so underrated in terms of like, he gave Amrabat an absolute torrid time. Didn't let him settle. He was obviously slightly out of position, Amrabat, but he wouldn't let him settle at all. He works so hard, and he's the type of player that every mid-table team I think would like to have as a squad player that won't let you down. But Man U, it's
toxic.
It's getting there this season. I think in a few games' time they really need to turn it around. Otherwise, it's gonna really.
Did you see Varane's comments? I think it was today. Or
They can win the Champions League.
They've got a good enough squad to win the Champions League. I mean, they don't. I mean, Amrabat playing left back isn't. That's not where he played ever really.
They have been struck a lot by injuries, but a lot of teams have. So it's.
They seem to be just so boring and predictable. Like I just can't. I'm not interested in watching Man United. If I see them on the TV, I think that's worse than Forest versus Brentford. United versus.
It was last year. The worst games were Man United, Tottenham. I think they were the most two boring teams. That's testament to kind of Ange's how it's changed. To be honest. But
losing Sancho and Anthony is obviously, well, maybe it's deserved given the type of players he signed. But you're going to struggle. Any team's going to struggle if you lose your two starting right wingers.
Anthony's back in training.
So
we'll see. Not sure what we think about that. And what a finish, Luka Anderson. What a rocket of a finish. That was amazing.
Love it, and also played unbelievable. The whole game as well, just jumping in. So brilliant.
No, Yeah, great job, Palace. Next one we had Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 4.
Kai Havertz, best player in the world.
He scored a penalty.
Kai Havertz, best player in the world. Best signing I've ever seen in my life. Best signing. That's it.
That's what you want to say.
That's all I want
I want to highlight how crap Bournemouth
Yeah, that's
were.
fine.
Bournemouth
Yeah,
were
that's fine.
dross.
Yeah, it's fine.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
They've got this Areola guy who's did very well. I think it was at Valladolid or somewhere in Spain. I can't remember. But it's not working at the moment
Justin
for him
Kluivert?
at all. What a player.
Yeah, what a player. What a
Um,
I mean, Patrick Kluivert.
Yeah.
Magic.
They could do with him.
Yeah.
And then last thought before Newcastle, we have West Ham vs Sheffield United.
Speaking of crap, Sheffield.
Oh yeah, they're dross as well.
Yeah.
Did you watch the match today? The Ollie McBurney shot. I thought he was through on goal and he was so bad. They've got no.
Yeah.
This
They've got
is what I
nothing.
mean about Everton. I think they're a very poor team, but I just think that the three teams that came up are just lacking quality.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say
Yeah.
that, but it's just I can't see them putting none of them are going to put the other wins or anything like that.
No, I agree.
You
But
know,
West Ham look good.
West Ham do look good. They're doing very well. And Jared Bowen's on an amazing form.
Yeah, he is.
2 seasons ago, he was on a real purple patch. Last season, he didn't quite hit those heights, apart from the winning goal in the
Yeah.
Conference League.
He was injured
But,
for quite a bit last season.
Was he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's looking great again. Okay, well now the moment that everyone's been waiting for. Newcastle.
Yes.
We spoke just before we started recording. If Jonny had come on any other week, we'd have had a really interesting game to talk about. Last week there was an 8-0. There was the obviously the Liverpool game.
The Villa
which was
game.
an
5-1
exciting game.
Villa.
5-1
Yeah, it
Villa.
was.
Really, really exciting games. This one was just a very routine 2-0 win over Burnley.
Very professional,
Yeah.
We wouldn't have done that in the past. We were very good. I mean, Miggy Almiron's goal was very, very good. And
Yeah.
he scored, 7 or 8 of those last
Yeah.
season, so he's doing the same again, which is good to see. Anthony Gordon is the most underrated player we've had this season. I think he was very poor from January to the summer, and he's now got fully up to fitness.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe has just drilled him into this absolute running machine who, it's very Eddie Howe, it's very high press, high energy, but he's also got quality on the ball, and he is going to be really important now because unfortunately the injuries are racking up.
Is Barnes injured?
Yeah, Barnes is out for 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, it's
and
tough,
Joe
isn't it?
Linton as well.
Yeah.
Well, basically all our left wingers.
Yeah. But I mean, you're saying that he's playing unbelievable. Like Anthony Gordon is literally playing. This season he's been, I think, a standout player, bar maybe Tonali or actually.
He's been better than Tonali, I think, by far. Like Tonali started really well, but Trippier is just class and will always
best
be.
player.
But Gordon is right up there. Yeah, fatigue, and we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
We're playing PSG in 2 days' time.
That's gonna be exciting. That's
Oh,
gonna
it's
be a great
incredible.
game.
I've tried the fact that I couldn't get tickets for that. I've tried, so hard to exhaust all my sources, but the demand is just through the roof. So sadly, I'll watch it on TV. But
Mbappe against Trippier.
that'll be a good game, man.
I think it-
I'm
I think
more
it will
worried
be a
about
good
Jamal
game.
Lascelles because Sven Botman is also injured for
Yeah.
3 weeks now. That will be interesting. But he didn't let himself down at the weekend, and he didn't let himself down against Man City. So we're getting there. I think this season we're not going to do as well. We're not going to do a run. I think Brighton and Villa are more equipped to go on one of those runs, and Spurs probably. But I think top 6 is a realistic aim.
Do you think you'll get there?
At this stage, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I think might stop us is there are a lot, as you said, Villa, Brighton, West Ham. They all look really good. There's big competition this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully Chelsea stay mid-table. I can't see Man U. You'd be surprised if Man U didn't finish top 6, but we'll see.
Very good. And do you think you're going to get out of the group of death?
I think we've got a real chance. I think it's a real shame. I think full strength Newcastle, and this is going to tie into massive deluded Geordie territory, but I think a full strength Newcastle with Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Sean Longstaff / Tonali in the centre would have given them a really good game, and I think we'll press heavily. We'll try and give them. They drew 0-0 at the weekend against a lower division team, a lower table team, so they haven't been that consistent.
They're a weird team now, PSG.
They're trying to be this project team in inverted commas that everyone wants to be. But they're a team in transition at the moment, so
they're probably the best team in the group. But
it's a time to play them now.
Yeah.
Are they trust the process kind of ball?
Trust the process.
Is that what they're trying to do?
They're following
Okay,
Mikel Arteta.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, trust the process.
They'll take time.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll take time.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant group because I think all Newcastle fans were just happy. We're just happy to be
Yeah.
there. We had a great away day AC Milan. I think every game in that group is winnable. I don't think any of those teams, none of them are Real Madrid level.
Mm-hmm.
No.
We're probably third or fourth favourites. You
Yeah.
know, again, people say I'm deluded for that, but I think Dortmund aren't what they were. So I think every team could beat each other in that table.
Yeah.
And if we take advantage of that, we could sneak second. But we'll see.
Are you tempted to fly out to either Dortmund or Paris, even if you've not got tickets to the game?
I've got a few friends who are doing that. I can't. I've as we're familiar with our German away days, I love Dortmund as an away day, but I would say the area isn't the best around.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it would be. Yeah, and PSG as well. I'm not sure Central Paris is that good as well. I think Milan.
Milan
If I got a
would be,
ticket, I
yeah.
would have done anything.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different when you're at the stadium, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
when you go there as a fan of the away team, it's a little bit strange to kind of watch it. I think. Yeah.
I really don't enjoy sitting in the home end at like any Newcastle game. It's like it's a weird experience. So I don't think I'd even do that. But
Yeah.
I'll try everything to get Dortmund and PSG away tickets, but we'll see.
Perfect.
And then quarterfinal and second round and,
Correct,
and
yeah.
semis, and
Yeah.
then who knows?
Um,
and then who knows?
We've qualified from 2002, 2003. Bob Robson. We've qualified from before,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the only team in Champions League history to lose their first 3 games in the group stage and still qualify.
Yeah.
That's quite impressive.
It is. Beat Juventus, Dynamo Kiev, Feyenoord. So I think it'd be disappointing if we didn't get third because I think the UEFA Cup would be a nice little
No, I
experience.
agree.
Would be a nice experience. West Ham, obviously, even in the Conference League, had a
Right,
great
exactly,
trip
yeah.
to.
I think you will.
I'll be
I
surprised.
genuinely think it's a toss of a coin. I think PSG are slight favourites, but below
Yeah.
that, I think it's anyone's game.
Yeah.
AC Milan were very, very good. The first 40
They
minutes,
looked, didn't
yeah.
they? I mean,
we looked
But
shell
Nick
shocked.
Pope
yeah.
is
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
he's outstanding, isn't he?
He's very good.
Is he England's number one? Do we think?
yeah, he
Surely.
he is. But I mean, not under Southgate. I mean, Southgate's
No.
so loyal to his
I'm not a huge fan of Pickford, but I do think
Yeah,
he never lets
for,
England
for
down.
England, he's been
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I think Pope. I'd rather have Pope playing for
Yeah,
Newcastle,
same.
but I understand why Pickford
Yeah.
starts for England.
No, I do it, but it's Pope is better. Pope is better.
Pope's the best all-round goalkeeper.
Pope is the
His
best
his
goalkeeper.
distribution is not as good
Yeah,
as
yeah.
Pickford's.
I think that's
And
what
I think
it is.
Southgate
Yeah.
does that quite a lot, but
Cool. Well, as we've got guests on the podcast, we're going to go through and we're going to choose our all-time Premier League Newcastle five-a-side teams. Matt was so excited. He sneezed.
I mean, yeah, can't wait.
How exciting. We'll see whether Pope makes the cut. Johnny, would you like to start with yours?
I would quite. I don't know. I didn't know you guys were picking it as well, so now I'm quite.
Oh, we're
interested
going
to
to
see
pick as
what you
well.
think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy to go first. Or
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away.
I think Nick Pope was a good keeper. I think Shea Given has to be in there. I think
Huh?
especially five-a-side, you want reflexes, you want shot-stopping ability, which Nick Pope is very good. Shea Given was unbelievable.
Is it because you look a bit like Shea Given?
You do.
A lot of people have said that. Yeah. My sister said that at the weekend. I think.
Your sister.
We were watching we've got a Newcastle group, and my family watched the games, and
Yeah.
she was watching with her boyfriend, and like my brother and my dad were texting about the game, and suddenly she just went, "Oh, my sister's boyfriend James thinks that you're different. James thinks that you and Shea Given are like related in some way, and just out of nowhere, just because he'd watched Shea Given doing the pre-match interview and said he's literally Johnny." But yeah, I don't know how to take it. I've had it many years now. He's
He's a talented man.
he is a talented man.
He's a keeper.
Yeah,
He's a
it is,
keeper.
yeah.
And I think he's a very, I would say, there's better keepers in all-time
Yeah,
five-side
yeah.
teams, but he is,
As a
he is
shot stopper.
top
As a
notch,
shot
yeah.
stopper.
It's the most iconic as well,
Yeah.
isn't he? I think.
And I'm really interested to see who you guys would pick. But
Okay, we'll finish off yours first.
Oh, sorry.
Let's give the whole thing.
Run
So,
through.
Shea Given, number one.
centre back Fabrizio Colaccini,
Hey.
has the best football chant of all time,
Yeah.
has incredible hair, has he's underrated I think because he played in a terrible Alan Pardew
Yeah, I
team.
agree.
And absolutely, apart from the 5th place season, which was a very weird season, but he was imperious at the back, and the fact that he had to play alongside Mike Williamson and Stephen Taylor.
Stephen Taylor. He was there for like 20 years.
Correct. It was appalling who he had to play alongside. He was an absolute class act, and
Yeah.
there was a game against Sunderland where we drew 1-1 in the derby. We went out 10 men. Czech Geordie got sent off, as he
Surprise,
used
surprise,
to do.
surprise, surprise,
And he was just, he held the defence together. We were 1-0 up. They scored in like the 94th minute to make it 1-1, but apart from that, he was just sensational.
Love that.
And the reason he's in here, you know, Jonathan Woodgate, good player, probably just misses out. Colaccini's such a good passer, control of the ball, good close control. Technically very good.
Very good. Then you got further up the pitch.
I think centre mid is quite controversial, or maybe quite early. I would say Bruno Guimaraes.
Okay.
Ooh,
I think he is
very early.
probably the best centre midfielder we've had in Premier League history. And I don't think, you know, Gary Speed, Rob Lee were brilliant. Johan Cabaye, he's a level above Johan Cabaye, but his tenaciousness and close control, and just, he runs games. We never, if he doesn't play, if you looked at the appearance stats last year, when he wasn't injured, he was top by an absolute mile. He absolutely runs game. He's like the symbol of the takeover, the symbol of like things looking better, and he's a very, very, very good tackler, very high energy.
Honorary Geordie.
Honorary Geordie.
Brazilian Geordie.
He's had 2 kids in Newcastle already. He says they're adopted Geordies. Yeah, he's a legend. Attacking midfield, and I think this is probably I struggle to think you're going to beat this in any way for any team. Hatton Ben Arfa, the best.
That was my one. I was so going to say Ben Arfa. That's a great shout.
Yeah,
I was going to say the same.
He was unbelievable to watch. Great dribbler.
For those 2 seasons or whatever it was, but he was just.
It was all going to blow up and end in tears, but he was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then up front, this was really hard because I think I was going to say Alexander Isak because I think his close control is unbelievable, but I can't not say Alan Shearer.
Exactly.
You know, his strengths on a five-a-side pitch might not be fully.
Well, I mean, he's finishing.
Yeah.
I think we're all probably going to say Shearer. I don't think any of us can look past that.
I mean, honourable mentions up front. Isak, I think, is not a bad shout at all. Les Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Andy Cole.
I
mean, I think those. I mean, I don't know if you've got any more. Demba Ba, Papi Cisse. Papi Cisse made most of those 2 goals.
I think
Callum Wilson is
find the side would be brilliant actually.
As of last week, he's our 3rd highest goal scorer in Premier League history.
Wow.
And I will give you £100 if you can tell me who's second in that list behind Alan Shearer.
£100? You give me £100?
I will right now.
Um.
You don't have a chance in hell.
Show around you.
Yeah.
Yes! Actually good!
I didn't get that.
I was like, who's been there?
Oh.
Yes. I was going to say Bellamy. I was like, no.
Fair play. That's really good.
I love
That's really good. That's
Show around the
impressive.
Obi.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's not Sammy.
Such a terrible player.
Not Sammy.
No.
Not Sammy. Yeah,
Just by sheer never getting
longevity,
being this close to being sold for 10 years, being like the 4th choice striker, being laughed at every weekend, somehow managing to stay in. He scored. We called him the Macam Slayer because he just always scored in the time we had Derby against Sunderland, and then just did nothing else for 10
I'm
seasons.
so happy I got that.
Oh, that's
So
devastating.
Very good. Very good.
I'll set the bank transfer shortly.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Perfect. Well, do you want to read out the whole 5 then? So it was in goal.
Shea Given.
Yeah.
Fabrizio Colaccini.
Yep.
Bruno Guimaraes.
Yep.
Hatton Ben Arfa. Alan Shearer.
Perfect.
Side.
Can you beat him?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, Shea Given's the obvious one. I'm going to get someone different.
Yeah. I think we've got to mix it up a little bit.
I'm going to go Shaka Hislop.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
my other one.
My memories from the 90s,
Oh.
probably my first memory of a goalkeeper is that kit. Shaka Hislop wearing it.
Very flamboyant. Yeah. Had a very high peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I'm not going to play a centre back. I'll play a right back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to play Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
Because
so,
Kieran
I should
Trippier.
have gone
Genuinely,
last
Kieran
year.
Trippier here was one of my favourite. Not one of my favourite, but just such a surprise how good he is.
I've been
knew
interested
he
to
was
speak to
good.
Spurs fans because I didn't think that they rate him that highly,
No.
and I've got one Spurs fan who says, one mate who said he was good, but he wasn't brilliant. But
Yeah.
he seems to have gotten to Athletic Madrid and just become like one of the best right backs in the
Agreed.
league.
So when he played for Spurs, he was famous for being a good right wing back, but not a good defender in any way. Like he was good going forward, but he couldn't defend.
But he was also
And then-
Carl Walker's replacement. So
Yeah.
they've gone from Carl Walker to him.
And then
So-
Then he went to Atletico Madrid, worked under Simeone, and just got taught like how to defend, and he became this beast.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I genuinely think there's an argument. Like, I do think Kyle Walker's better. I really do. But I think, bar him, I can't think of a better right back really in world football.
Mhm.
Last season, yeah, and this season he's got back, like he
Yeah.
got a hat trick of assists last
No,
week. He gets,
yeah, exactly. And he's still got an assist. I know it was a basically a tackle that went to
but
it's still.
But Eddie Howe's brilliant because
Yeah.
we don't really play. Dan Burn on the left doesn't actually move forward at all. So like Trippier will go forward, Dan Burn will slot the centre back alongside Shaw and Botman, and Trippier's just given licence to get as far forward as he wants. So it gets the best out, but he's unbelievable. That's a very good show.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then, okay, fine. It's my centre mid. I'm going check TOT because I need legs in there. And yes, he's going to get sent off.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that.
Nice.
And basically, mainly it's for that goal against Arsenal, for that 4-4 goal.
How was that game?
Well,
Best game
very
ever
good.
been. Yeah.
And then I've got a choice of two here. It's my kind of cams and flair players. I'm going to go with David Ginola. Just because he was just unbelievable, and just like watching those Premier League years, all they do is just talk about how good he was.
Yeah.
It was like between him and Ben Arthur, and then someone else that you might mention, and then obviously up top you got Shearer. So that's his lot: Trippier, Tiote, Ginola, Shearer. Easy.
Very good. Yeah.
It's an easy win. Easy win.
It's a very, very good team there.
I feel sorry for you now.
No, I know you've actually like. So I thought I had an outsider shout with Ben Arthur. That was my main one. Then I was definitely going to pick his lot. So goalkeeper. I'm going to pick a different one, and I'm just trying to decide between. No, I'm trying to decide between Nick Pope, who is superb, but. Do you actually know this about me? So when I grew up, I was a Newcastle fan.
No.
But do you not know this?
No, why did you not mention that?
So when I was growing up, I watched Euro '96. I thought Alan Shearer was the best thing since sliced bread, and I supported Newcastle up to the age of about 9. So about 3 years, I was a Southern Geordie.
It's a shame you moved to the dark side, but yeah.
To the dark side. What's
The
Southampton?
dark side.
Well, we're just really lovely Southampton.
You
fans.
are, to be fair. I kind of lost enthusiasm for that.
Yeah.
I like Southampton.
Yeah, exactly. No one dislikes Southampton. So I'm going to go with the goalkeeper who was in when I was there, and some of his goalkeeper tops were amazing, and that was Pavel Srnicek.
Great shout.
And I absolutely loved him back in the day. There's going to be a bit of a theme. It's going to go a lot of like old school ones, just because I used to support them.
Yeah.
I'm going to play as like a defensive midfielder / like anywhere.
No defender?
Well, no, he's going to be all over the place.
Okay.
Like beat people up. David Batty.
David Batty.
It's a strange shout.
I tell you what, I'm
Batty.
really, like the idea of like my team now coming up against Czech Geordie and David Batty. Absolutely, it's a really good point. They would have no time on the ball. It would be brutal. It would be really bad.
David Batty famously hated football.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand the game. He's very, very famous for that. I'm going to go for my sort of defender / winger, Nobby Solano.
Nobby
Good
Solano.
shout, yeah.
Nobby Solano.
I would say
Brilliant
slightly,
player.
a slow set piece
it's not
expert.
Yeah.
Not really five-a-side.
Material.
But yeah,
I'm
technically brilliant.
I'm actually going with my heart a bit here rather than my head. That's fine. I'm annoyed about Ben Arthur because he was the key.
He was the
key.
Everyone's team.
He is Tiote's kicking in.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
He will get
Probably
there.
Batty is as well. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So because of that, I'm actually struggling for an attacking midfielder. Maybe I'll just go pretend this isn't five-a-side and just go 2 up top. I really want to say Tamuri Kets-Bayer, but I'm not going to say Tamuri Kets-Bayer.
No.
I'm going to go Les Ferdinand and Alan Shearer.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
But, good luck beating this team. Like they're just big.
Yeah. No,
I mean, you wouldn't need a dribble pass. You just launch.
Solano's for one technical player. That's lovely.
So again, to read it out: Pavel Srnicek, David Batty, Roberto Solano, Les Ferdinand, and Alan Shearer.
I love those two. That's good.
David Batty will have a lot of work to do in that team, I would say. A lot of ground to cover, but I like it. Yeah.
Solano's not covering a blade of grass.
No,
Like Mastro,
but he gets a little bit of space, picks the ball up.
Yeah.
Knocks it left.
Up top on a bench with this
I'm sorry, but like,
Yeah.
who's defending against him for you guys? I mean, well, Colaccini would be alright.
I would say.
I back my team against yours, Matt. I back against Trippier. I think
up top. I think up top. Yeah.
I think Colaccini would struggle massively against Shearer and Ferdinand. It's just a way of getting it to them.
That's funny, but yeah, no, it's good.
I did want to
Honourable
quickly
mentions Santi,
what's Santiago?
Muniz and Gavin Harris.
Or
The first film was one of the best films I ever saw as a kid. I was like, this is a film about the team I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
And it's got Alan Shearer in for like a 3-second clip where he goes, "Well done, son."
Yeah, I
And
know.
it's like, oh my god, it's Alan. And then the next two are probably the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
Awful. Yeah.
Awful. I did really like. I thought about this earlier, and I was like, I just wanted to put together the worst team or the most dysfunctional team.
So I've actually got.
Has it been one of the dysfunctional players?
I've got Boumsong and Bramble.
Yeah, that's my team.
and Bramble.
They played together.
They played together in the Champions League or UEFA Cup. I can't remember.
I had a
what it
season
was.
ticket, and I remember it was just every other game was just, oh my god.
What is this?
He slipped in the middle of the pitch for like a 2-yard pass, and then just got sent off.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah.
Graham Souness era, what?
So my joke team would have been Harper in goal, Boumsong and Bramble,
underrated keeper.
and then Kevin Nolan and Andy Carroll up top. And I think those two, because I remember that season, I think when you just came up, I can't remember, maybe 2013, 2012, around that kind of time.
2010-11, I think.
Yeah, around and they played
they
together.
did really well, yeah.
And they played, they both scored like 10, and then I think Andy Carroll went for 35 to Liverpool,
He
didn't he? Became a bust.
Yeah.
became a
And
joke.
yeah.
My joke team isn't going to have a goalkeeper because I want to include 5 people. We're going to play a sweep. I don't know who the sweep keeper is. Probably Boumsong. So Boumsong and Bramble are at the back. We're then going to have Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer fighting each other in the midfield. And then up front we're going to have Tamuri Ketsbayer. Because I just want to that's still one of the most iconic things when he scores his first goal. He just goes and boots the advertising board like on repeat. What a man! What a man!
Yes. He was entertaining.
Yeah.
And he's a good player. I think
He was a good player, but it just made me laugh.
yeah. I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm thinking now. Because we're not just going for. I mean, it has to be Bramble and Boumsong. I can't not put them in.
You can look past
And this is probably going to be quite boring because I'm going to go quite niche. But I would say I'm going to play 2 up top as well: Emmanuel Riviere and Zisco. Which is
Zisco,
a symbol
insisted.
of the Mike Ashley regime. 2 of the worst strikers I've ever seen play. Probably Emmanuel Riviere scored 1 goal, which I was at against QPR, where he kicked the turf, the ball hit off the turf, hit off his face, and went in past the keeper, and that was his only goal for Newcastle.
Nice.
I love that.
And then centre midfield.
Sammy, maybe.
Yeah, maybe he was okay. Yeah, Sammy Abu, let's do that.
Nice.
But yeah.
Perfect. Well, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that actually.
Yeah, it's good.
That was good.
Five-a-side,
Get some good 5-a-side
I
teams.
expect because obviously we had an Arsenal fan on before, and they've had funny players, but not kind of.
Not
Newcastle.
Boumsong and Bramble.
Yeah,
Not some people
Boumsong.
getting sent off for fighting each other. Funny people.
I mean, you talk about like the Arsenal banter era.
Yeah.
Like, this is Newcastle were like that for like 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways,
Yeah. It's, no, that's fun actually. Yeah.
Actually, like,
In fact, Boris
you know what? I might take out Ketsbayer from mine. I'm going to put Mike Ashley in goal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy. You cover a lot of space.
He would. He might do quite well actually.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that wraps up the Newcastle part of the podcast. Just one thing to do, and I think Matt knows what time it is.
I know exactly what time it is.
What time is it then, Matt?
It's predictions
It's the
day!
predictions
Day!
day!
What a day.
So for Jonny, who I'm sure he listens every week anyway, he knows all about the prediction game. We pick one team to win each week. We have a league table between the 4 of us brothers, and we cannot pick the same team twice over the course of the first half of the season. Just quickly summing up last week, as I mentioned earlier, I picked Luton and they won, which I'm very happy about. Matt picked West Ham, they won.
Yeah.
Good job him. Andy picked Everton and Chris picked Man United and they both lost.
Yeah.
So the scores on the doors are Andy with 6 leading the way, Chris and Matt with 5, and I'm back with 4. The games this week we have. Actually, there's a game tomorrow night which we should mention, which is Luton versus Burnley. But that's an isolated one, but we're going to keep that separate. So the games next weekend we have Luton versus Tottenham, Fulham versus Sheffield United, Burnley versus Chelsea, United versus Brentford, Everton Bournemouth, Crystal Palace versus Forest, Brighton versus Liverpool, West Ham versus Newcastle, Wolves versus Villa, and then a very exciting one of Arsenal versus Manchester
Actually, good Sunday.
City.
It's actually a super Sunday.
It's not as super as last.
Brighton.
As this one though.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of course,
hard. I wouldn't say there's any gimme game there.
I think. Yeah, no.
We'll find out.
I think Tottenham Luton's a gimme.
If
really.
Yeah.
if you were part of the game, Joey, who would you pick?
Yeah.
Oh, probably it'd be boring, probably Tottenham Luton, but I don't think,
West Ham Newcastle was a tough game.
I think we might lose that because we've got 4 days rest from PSG.
Yeah, of course.
Anthony Gordon is
Yeah.
suspended for that game, so we now have all 4 of our left wingers are out.
Yeah.
West Ham are very good. I think I wouldn't back Newcastle in that game. I wouldn't back West Ham either. It's maybe Palace at home to Forest, but that's
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Who do you go for, Matt?
I went for who did I go for? Everton. I went Everton against Bournemouth. Basically, we're carrying on the mould that Bournemouth are absolutely crap. I know Everton are also crap, and particularly with Goodison, I don't really like that decision. But anyway, I'm going Everton 2, Bournemouth 0.
I'm throwing straight back at you. I think this is the moment when Iraola gets Bournemouth
Does
playing,
he?
and Everton, as we said, toxic place, Goodison Park at the moment. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win to Bournemouth.
Better's got this.
Better.
Better's got this.
You better believe it. And then Andy and Chris have gone for the same. They've gone for Fulham wins over Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Which
2-0 and 3-0.
probably going to happen. 3-0 to Andy, 2-0 to Chris.
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Any closing remarks? Any?
No, not really. I mean, have you enjoyed it?
I've absolutely loved it. Thank you for having me. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, it's good having you on.
I'm impressed by the knowledge of non-Southampton related games. The fact that you watch Nottingham Forest, Brentford, and the right
That's
is dedication. So this is a high level.
I mean, we take our job seriously here on the
I can see.
podcast. We really do.
Yeah.
Well, at least 2 of us do anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
it's
what haven't shown up in a few weeks. So I mean,
carrying it at the moment.
Yeah.
But with that, we'll leave it at that. And just one more thing to say: you got to remember, it's on your head, son, not
off your head.
So
Yes! Seamless.
back of the net.